Netflix. You guys know Netflix, right? Chances are most of you are actually subscribed to this service. Now don't get me wrong, I love this service, but there's at least two things that piss me off about it. Let's start with problem number one, content removal. That's the thing about Netflix, a lot of the stuff you get on there will eventually disappear. Now I didn't know this for a while until I noticed that The Wolf of Wall Street was on it. Now I had actually wanted to see this movie for a while at one time. For those of you who don't know, basically Leonardo DiCaprio spends 3 hours snorting coke out of a hooker's asshole while Jonah Hill is in the background jacking off. So great family fun. Now before I eventually watched this movie on DVD, I noticed that it was on Netflix one night. Of course it was really late, so I figured I'd just watch it the following day. Next day I go to look for it, gone. And that was probably the wake-up call for me, like come on now, you thought you could go to sleep? Sorry fucker, you gotta watch it right now, snooze you lose, literally. Now I do realize that you can actually look up what shows are coming to Netflix and which ones are going away. Hell, for all I know they actually told me right on the screen and I just didn't see it. But here's the thing, Netflix prides itself on being a revolutionary step in the home theater industry that completely obliterates physical media. But when the movies you want to watch can be snatched away like that, well, that's one area where DVDs always win. Unless someone breaks into your house. But here's the other big problem with Netflix, the content itself. For every awesome show that I've seen on Netflix, they've constantly tried to shove some other fucking idiot show down my throat. American Dad, I love this show. This can best be described as a better version of Family Guy, as far as I can tell. But after watching it, Netflix started recommending Brickleberry. Brickleberry is the single worst waste of time and resources ever produced in the history of cartoons. Nah, just kidding, I've never actually seen it, I just heard it's pretty shit. And if it wasn't bad enough that they decided to put the shitty mainstream shows on there, they have a bunch of so-called Netflix originals. And when they say original, they mean Pacific Heat. And when they say Pacific Heat, they mean Archer if it was made by a fucking slow giraffe with bronchitis. And that's just an example. I could think of tons of shit. Haters Back Off was so bad that I actually read about how shitty it was in a newspaper while using public transit. I wasn't even looking for a review, it was just there. And on top of that, Netflix doesn't even have all the good shows or movies anyway. If you were to want to find all of the shit, you'd need to sign up for a bunch of other services on top of Netflix. If you wanted everything, literally everything, you'd eventually end up paying more than $30 to $40 a month, probably. And given that it's possible they could take half of those things away from you anytime, that's bullshit.